Alright, boys and girls, we're setting up. We'll keep setting up. We've got the old screen here, so you guys can have a look. It starts in about half an hour, so we'll be doing a little chat about it in a minute. I'm just quickly going to plug it on the old. I'm just going to quickly talk to you guys about COD and my views on it and stuff before we get into it, if you guys are interested. Yeah, it's funny, yeah. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Oh, hey Joe, how's it going? You're doing good. I just thought that like a load of other people were just live streaming it, and I thought I'd quickly do it as well, because I thought it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, it's not going to start for half an hour, so I'm just going to be generally chatting about COD and my views on it, and see if once we watch it, we'll see if it's any good. Personally, COD is one of those games where it thrives on the fact that it's very simplistic. Its very simplistic nature is what makes it good. You don't play COD and go, oh, that in-depth storyline really got to me. That's not what they do. That's probably for the best. I think that you want to play to your strong suits, but they do have to. You have to be sure that you're not making it stale. So. And you gotta make sure that if you are going to keep repeating the same things, over and over and over again, that you're, keeping to the heart of the subject you're doing. So, if you're doing a adventure game, you're keeping it, people's exploration alive. You're making sure that people can go out and explore things as much as they can, and they really enjoy it. If you're a racing game, you're focusing on racing. Customization and stuff's all well and good, but you have to make sure the core racing gameplay is good. And I think that's just one of those things that the COD's recently missed. They've recently started straying away. They started doing futuristic stuff, started doing laser guns, started doing robots, and they sort of got so wrapped up in their own customizations and all the bits and pieces and all the taunts and stuff you could do. They took it away from the core gameplay that made COD great, which was the no holds bar, complete and utter chaos that happened, and how it was you and your gun and the other guy. I mean, I've played every single COD except from Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare is the one I have not played. When I played Advanced Warfare, that was when I knew that COD was definitely going down the drain. Because when I played Advanced Warfare around my mates, the guns felt like they shot themselves. So I didn't feel like I was doing much. I felt like I was just sitting there and I was along for the ride, while my gun just did all the shooting for me. I was just, you'd throw a little spider grenade thing, it'd run off and blow all the enemies up for you. It's just like, what's the point of me here? And also the fact that they also stripped back on a lot of the stuff they did. Because if any of you have had the pleasure of playing some of the original Call of Duties, especially the first one, you'll see that they're actually I mean, it's more polished and more graphically better, etc., etc., etc. But you get a lot less content. With the first Call of Duty, you had a long campaign, you had multiple DLCs and stuff like that. You felt like you were getting a lot for your money, and you could definitely sink a lot of time into the first Call of Duty and still have, you could go back and play it again and still enjoy it as much as if you played it the first time. And I think that was one of the really good things about it. Even if it, nowadays you look back at it, you go, oh, it's a bit dated graphics and stuff like that, and the AI's not as great as it used to be. It still was really satisfying, and I think that's the first COD games will definitely hold up more when time progresses than the new Call of Duties. I think the new Call of Duties pushed themselves on the merits of their graphical fidelity and their wow factor in terms of what could be achieved on the on the devices you had. And I think that's definitely not what you want to build a long-term sort of franchise on. If you're just there for the most recent technology, you'll go out fast. I mean, look at Crysis is a good example of that. Crysis was a game that was pushing the boundaries of what the technology could do, but it didn't really have much else going on for it. So a lot of people don't look at it these days. I thought it was actually quite good, but a lot of people didn't like it, and I could see where they're coming from with that. It's definitely one of those things that I think that Call of Duty works best when you have strong characters, not too complex story. I mean, Call of Duty's not poets. They don't need a masterpiece to work with. It's not Shakespearean. I mean, it's as long as you have a decent campaign, we have a decent objective, that'll do us. You just have to make it sure that the characters are actually funny and you actually like them. That's the problem. The problem I had with a lot of new CODs is the characters are so bland. They're very polarizing in terms of the fact they either go, please be my friend, I'm desperate for you to be my friend, and I'm not even attempting to be your friend or even likable. I'm just going to be Blandy McBlanderton, and it's just, you have to make sure you get that right balance. I mean, they don't have to go to Bad Company 2 levels of characters, because I mean, Bad Company 2 had the best characters in any video game ever. They were just instantly likable. But, they could go back to sort of, because World at War had characters you actually liked, like Reznov. Reznov was so loved he even came back in the next game, which, the Black Ops one. He actually came back. He was that loved. So if you can build characters like that again, I think that they would definitely do a lot better. Hell, I even loved Roebuck. Roebuck. Roebuck was the fellow with the shotgun who was in the first 2 levels before he ended up getting stabbed. But yeah, he was awesome. I actually quite liked him, even though I didn't know him for more than 5 minutes. He still was such a good character that I liked him. And obviously they got close with Modern Warfare 2. They had Ghost, and Ghost was good. But then they had Yuri, and Yuri was kind of meh. And then they slowly got more and more meh until it's kind of just we don't even care anymore. So I think if they bring this back to its roots and just give us a soldier's experience on the ground, pushing into Japanese territory, I would be happy. I would be a happy chappy. Obviously, it's Call of Duty, so it's going to be not just a regular foot soldier. It's going to be like a suicide agent or something like that, or an incredible badass who goes in and freaking strangles Hitler with his own bare hands or something like that. It's not going to be an ordinary folk by any means. I don't think they'll do that. I think Battlefield might do that when they do World War 2, but I don't think Call of Duty would. But I think that it's definitely going to be one of those games where I think there is a lot to work with World War 2. World War 2 was one of the, obviously, they said, it's a world war. There was many fronts, many countries involved. You could pick almost any of the territories they were fighting over, and most of them would actually make really good areas to fight in, and really good areas to... I mean, you could have the dense jungles of Japan, you have the sort of wide open stretches of Africa, you have the sort of dense sort of urban areas of Europe. There's so many good areas they can go with World War Two. They can set it up to have loads of different areas. And the fact that World War Two was one of my favourite areas of time because it had just the right balance between having, guns that were interesting and diverse, and more efficient and effective, while not getting to the point where you're having to mess around with too many attachments and things got too easy. It was the right balance between being not too hard and not too easy. It was you and your rifle, but you could be sure your rifle's going to do a decent amount and be effective enough to be useful. And you could actually rely on it to take out targets effectively and not have to worry about pulling the bolt every time. So I mean, there is the concern that they're going to pull a Battlefield 1 on us and be like, hey, it's World War II, but oh no, there's a prototype weapon, and it's going to be some sort of ridiculous minigun or something like that. There is that concern. But hopefully Call of Duty has learned from some of their own mistakes and Battlefield's mistakes, and will try and keep to the original sort of sets and weapons that were available at the time. I mean, there is certainly a diverse amount of them. I mean, I don't think they have to worry too much about struggling to find guns to put in the game. I mean, there's absolutely plenty of them. But there is that temptation to just go, how are you going to make this even more sensational? And you have to make sure that you don't go for the lazy options. As much as lazy options are easier, so going, the game's getting a little bit boring, what can we do? We'll throw in flamethrowers with rocket launchers under them or something like that, Get to sort of outrageous things when, just maybe adding a few new pistols would probably do it, I mean, I definitely hope they keep some of the modes. Like, I definitely would like. They have said that they are looking at doing 4-player co-op campaign, which is going to be really, really good. Because that was one of the reasons why I loved playing World at War, was because of the, you had your mates. You could play through most of the campaign together. There was a couple of levels that you couldn't play together. Which were the Sniper one and the Black Cat one, which was understandable. But it was pretty interesting because those two were two of the best missions in the game. But I couldn't see them being able to do it with co-op. I don't think it'd be possible. Do I want zombies? Yes, I do. I do want zombies, I'll admit. As much as it's been done a million times, it'll be done a million more times, there's plenty of zombie games, I do want it. I do want more zombies. I wouldn't mind if they rehashed it, so they went, oh, it's not zombies, it's actually demons. That would be fine. I'd be completely okay with that. But I just want, that sort of you and your friends holding off against swarms and swarms of the undead would definitely be best. I prefer it when they do the, for like, World at War had it good because they had just the right balance between traps and guns. So you didn't have like millions of different guns, and you had like, so basically what you do is you and your friends would fight over like the ray gun and the Wonder Waffle, and those were the two best guns. I'd like it if some of the other guns were more effective against the zombies. So you can have a variety of play styles for dealing with zombies, and they're all as effective as each other, because again, in zombies you never used a sniper rifle, which I think is a shame, because sniper rifles are quite funny, and rather enjoyable. I think they're definitely there. That's something that they should try and work on, try and making sure that all the all the guns are good in their own right. So they don't have some guns which is really hard for games to pull off these days. These days, I think one of the biggest crises that games face is balance. I think balance is definitely one of the ones where Call of Duty has to balance its weapons, has to balance its perks, all that sort of thing. Balance maps as well. Obviously, Overwatch has to balance classes, but they haven't been doing a particularly good job. CSGO has to try and balance its weapons, but some of them are a bit more iffy than others, if you know what I mean. So I think it's definitely one of those ones where I don't think it's going to be. I hope it'll be balanced when it first comes out. But if it's not, but they update it fairly quickly, I'll let it slide. I'll be satisfied if they did that. I would say that you don't want it to be, because that's the thing, you don't want it to be too broken when you start it off. I understand when a game first starts off, you've only tested it on a few people, you know, you haven't gone to the millions that Call of Duty goes to, so that you are more likely to have sort of things slip by, but you have to make sure that you're not putting off the millions of people that bought it at the start. You don't want them all to go, oh, this game's glitchy mess, I don't want it anymore, chuck it out, you know. You want them to stick around and, you know, make sure that you sort it out. So if there's like some glitches in the story mode, that's fine. As long as it's not game breaking, it's fine. It's just mainly multiplayer, I think, is going to be the main concern. I think if some people manage to get through the campaign by using a cheat or something, you know, that's just them ruining their own experience. Whereas if people glitch and mod and stuff on multiplayer, you're ruining other people's experience, which is going to be a really bad thing. I will admit, I definitely hope they go for a more gritty, realistic aesthetic for COD, the new one, because of the fact that I'm seeing with, you know, Advanced Warfare, with Infinite Warfare, all that, it was all very sleek, very polished, whereas I felt that World at War and some of the other CODs were best because they felt really gritty. I mean, the menus looked gritty, the loading screens looked gritty, every character looked gritty. You know, it looked like everyone just been throwing like pebbles at each other. You know, it's just dirt and mess everywhere. As obviously in some of the new COD games, they're all very polished and very clean. Yeah, man, I think it definitely is going to be. I think it'll be like World at War, but I mean, I want it to be like World at War, but I don't want it to be World at War. Because as much as I do love World at War and I loved it dearly, I think that there are things that they could improve about the game, and I'd like them to improve on them on this. So one of the things I'd like them to improve was the vehicles they had in some of the games, because you got some of the game modes were like control, capture flags and stuff like that. I think that those had loads of potential, but the vehicles you got in them, like the tanks and stuff like that, were sometimes a bit iffy, and sometimes were, you know, a bit overpowered, or could be considered to be overpowered. I don't think they were as overpowered as much as the fact that everyone else didn't want to carry weapons to deal with them, because you could get rocket launchers and stuff like that, but they weren't nearly as good as the alternatives, so a lot of people just went with the alternatives and went, someone else will deal with the tank. So I think they should work on promoting other game modes more. So I think a lot of people will just go, oh yes, I want to play Team Deathmatch, or I want to play Free-for-All, and sometimes neglect some of the other like conquest modes or capture the flags or stuff like that. So I think maybe they should introduce some sort of like daily things, so they go, hey, you know, if you play Conquest today, you get double points for one of the matches or something like that. You know, help give some of the other modes a little more of a pick-me-up. Yeah, I know the tanks weren't used that much, I will admit, either. I think that Call of Duty, yes, is probably best for its infantry action, but I mean, I think that the attempt on vehicles was appreciated and was actually quite good, actually. I thought, like, for a Call of Duty game, I thought they actually did a decent job with vehicles in that. Even though, yes, obviously vehicles and large maps and stuff is more Battlefield's forte, I think that Call of Duty poking into some of the other areas wouldn't do it any harm, I don't think. I think that one concern I do have, the most concern for, is the quantity of set pieces. I don't want lots and lots and lots of set pieces. I don't want, you know, you're getting off the boat and running up the beach and the controls are instantly taken away from you to show some cool, like, you know, explosions around you while your guy runs up the beach and then does a cool fist fight and then pulls out his gun and shoots a load of guys. I don't want them to take the controls away from me often. I don't mind it occasionally. The occasional cutscene and stuff's fine. The occasional set piece is alright. But, you know, don't yank the controls away from me every 5 seconds, you know? I think that the more control you give to players and the more options we have of how we want to do it is best. I mean, COD is pretty linear. Let's be honest. COD is a linear game. It's not a adventure game. It's a roller coaster that you take part in, which is great. I mean, if I want to sit down and play a game, COD's probably one of the top ones at the list. Is just like sitting down, just playing a quick game. COD's great, but I think that some of the stuff they could possibly try is maybe going for a more diverse choices for players. I think that would be one of the things that would be really good. So imagine, say, I'm playing the D-Day map. Maybe I can choose between whether I want to throw some dynamite in there and blow it up, or maybe I want to push on the right and try and scale the cliffs, or maybe I want to try and maybe put, it'd be harder, but maybe I can push up the middle and flank into the bunkers and do some close quarters fighting or something like that. You know, it'd be nice if they tried and give us more choice. I mean, again, I'm not expecting a massive change. It is Call of Duty after all. But I think maybe a dip your toe in the lake might be nice. You know, maybe a bit here, a bit there. Might be just a nice little slow transition. But yeah, I think they definitely will be going back to basics with this one. Hopefully. I don't know. Part of me's very paranoid that they're going to do the old bait and switch, where they go, we're doing World War II. Now it's just Infinite Warfare, but like back a couple of 100 years. You know, I don't know. I think if they did do, if they did try and reinvent themselves, I think that would be a good sign for Call of Duty. Because a lot of people take the piss out of Call of Duty. A lot of people go, Call of Duty doing the same thing yet again. You know, they're always pushing out the same crap every year. Though I think maybe they're starting to take it on board. Maybe they're starting to go, alright, maybe we're not the most popular guys on the block. Maybe we should change up how we're going to do this. But yes. I would say the I think they're definitely going to have season passes. They're definitely going to have tons of DLC. They're definitely going to have season passes. That sort of stuff's just guaranteed. As for camouflage and stuff like that, I think they probably will. I think it's going to be more akin to, you guys know, in Black Ops, the first one, in multiplayer, you can customize your character in terms of their appearance. So you can change like their facial camo. You could also change there was small customizations you could do. Some of the perks actually changed how your character looked, which was kind of cool because it showed that if you see someone, you can sort of tell what sort of play style they're running from what they're wearing. You know, that was a nice little bit that they put in the COD, and then they instantly threw it away again, which I thought was a bit of a, taking a step out and then immediately pulling it away before we could appreciate it. So like when you saw a guy with a ghillie suit, he was stacking up perks to be stealthy. When you see a guy wearing big, chunky, grenadiers vest, then he's packing explosives up the yazoo. But you knew these sort of things from what they saw, and I think that worked really well. I think Black Ops was really good. The story was certainly very good. I thought it was definitely one of the better ones. But the problem I had with it was the kill streaks were a bit like they had a snowball effect. So when you got one kill streak, that would lead on to another kill streak, which would lead on to another kill streak. So like you had dogs, you also had attack choppers, you also had mini guns and stuff. You had loads of kill streaks, and if you pulled them right, you could just chain kill streaks, which I think is one of the concerns that is in this game. I think is one of the concerns where what sort of kill streaks are they going to offer us Are they going to offer us loads of kill streaks, or are they going to offer us, maybe a couple reasonable ones? Who knows? I mean, as much as I say they're getting back to basics, I don't think they'll strip away all the stuff they've done. I think that they're definitely going to try and include the what is it? Sorry, I'm trying to think of the word. It's not the mod. It's not the the different characters they can do. So you have like characters that can take more. One thing I definitely don't want them to do is emotes. That is one thing I definitely don't want to see is emotes. That is the one thing that's just in the back of my mind. So I think if they did do it, I would definitely boycott it. It would be emotes. Because in World War II, I'm all for a joke. I'm all for a bit of banter. I'm all for a laugh, a bit of messing around. But when you have emotes in a World War II game, maybe you're going a bit too far, It's probably one of the most brutal and bloody conflicts we've ever seen. And you're just going to have someone doing the Carlton in the middle of an explosion, I think, is going to be, it's going to be a bit unnecessary and maybe a bit crude. I think that, I wouldn't. I think they're definitely going to do more subtle camos. I think they're definitely going to have camos in the game. I think will definitely be a thing, but hopefully they'll have more subtle ones. So you'll have a guy with a shotgun, and maybe you can have it camo, or maybe you can have different camos on his shotgun, but not bright orange ones, but decent ones, but not too outrageous. Alright, we've got 9 minutes left, boys. 9 minutes. Hopefully I'll pick up the audio alright. But yeah, I think that one of the main concerns I have for the weaponry is I worry that they're going to make some guns more powerful than others. So, the MG42 was just the go-to machine gun. I think that was just when someone sits down and goes, I want to use a machine gun, they always use that. The Browning was just not really. I mean, I loved the Browning, and some people did. Some people did like the Browning, but I think that the MG42 just seemed like way better option in most cases, which is just one of the things I'm concerned. Again, it comes back to that balancing option, but I think it definitely they should not prefer some weapons over others. I think that they should try and make it so every gun has its upsides and its downsides. I mean, I don't mind if they're too much similar. I mean, I don't mind if they're oh yeah, this gun does the same damage and the same stats as the other gun. Because I mean that's fine. At least that you'll get some variation. Some people will think one gun's more attractive looking than the other and pick them. At least you'll get some variety. I don't want the meta and then there's nothing else. You have meta and you have the occasional crazy person that doesn't know how to play the game or will not use the meta, but they'll instantly get absolutely destroyed. It's meta or quit. I want some people to be a bit more creative with it, I want to see some shotgunners out there. I want to see some grenade launcher guys out there. Hey, Phantom. I want to see a variety of play styles coming out here that's not just, SMGs and, tack knives, that was an old Modern Warfare reference, boys and girls. For those of you that... Modern Warfare 2 reference, sorry. For those of you that weren't too quick on the draw there. I will admit it would be I would say that Halo's definitely going the way of Call of Duty in terms of the fact that it's a bit too, I mean, that's a conversation to be penned for another time. Hey, Plungeby. But yeah, I think getting back to the point here, World War II was probably the best option they could have chosen. I think that they've already done Vietnam. loads. They couldn't do Vietnam again. So World War II was the only option on the table. I mean, World War One had already been done by Battlefield One, and they'd already done, they'd already milked that cow dry. I mean, it wasn't exactly. It was an interesting time period, but it didn't have a lot going for it, Whereas I think World War Two has a lot more going on in terms of the different factions they've got fighting, what sort of guns they had, what sort of battles they had. I think because World War One was very stale. World War One was very just trench to trench to trench, whereas World War Two was trench fighting. Yes, there was trench fighting, but it was a lot more fast paced. I think going further to the future is just kind of pointless because you're getting into the point where, why even base it on anything tangible? Like when you're getting even further into the future, you might as well just base it off anything, You could have just I think if anything, the only other thing they could have done is maybe gone for a more magical one, done like sort of cross Call of Duty with Harry Potter, got some flying cars in there, maybe some enchanted guns or something like that, I don't know where else they could have gone really. I think that definitely World War Two is the best move they could have made, and I think it's definitely going to pay off. I think this game is going to do well regardless of what this trailer shows us, regardless of what happens, what sort of publicity it gets, what people say about it. It will do well. It's because the fact that people are going, oh my god, World War Two, oh my god, World War Two, and as much as I'm sitting here preaching that World War Two was definitely by far the best age that COD had done, I think that that's what's going to happen. A lot of us are going to go, oh my god, World War Two, we loved the World War Two games. All the kids are going to go, oh, does that mean this COD's going to be really good? And then we're going to be like, yes, that does mean this COD's probably going to be good. And they're going to freak out and they're going to buy. Literally, this could be a pixel art, just like, made on Windows PowerPoint, and it would still sell like hotcakes. Like they could put this at £100 and people would still pay it. Like it's just what Call of Duty's kind of become these days, especially when they're pulling this and doing the whole, hey, we're doing a dramatic change, and then we're gonna see if they actually do it properly. I don't know. I think a lot of people were getting sick of the franchise, and they had to do something. They milked that cow dry, and now they're quickly trying to pull it back. And I don't know whether they will be able to. I think they definitely will get a lot of money off this game, but whether they'll regain their belief, they'll regain people's belief in the franchise, I'm not so sure. Oh, hey, Solar Light. Just in time, the thing's going to start in 3 minutes. I'd recommend, I don't know, I think the audio quality should be okay. I think I've got my thing all set up, so the audio quality should be okay. But just in case, I recommend you guys quickly, I'll put the link in the chat so you guys can go watch it for yourselves when it happens. I'll be silent while the trailer's showing, and then I'll be talking about it after the trailer's done and gone. I'll start talking about it. So if you guys want to watch it for yourselves, I'll pop it in the chat there, and you guys can go have a look at it yourselves and watch it, because you'll probably have better audio. But once it's over, I'll then start talking about it. But yeah, I'll show you guys. What I'll do is I'll quickly show you guys Call of Duty, the first one. I'm not gonna play the Cars trailer. I'm a crazy person. COD 1 trailer. Let's look at an old COD 1 trailer to get the old vintage juices flowing, right? So we'll do the Call of Duty 1. Call of Duty 1 was a really good game, by the way. If you guys haven't played it already. Dun, dun, dun. Well, it changed the world. Yeah, the graphics aren't great, but like when you're actually playing it, it feels really good. We've got another minute, so we've got some time to watch this. But yeah, I think that definitely this mission was really good. This mission was one of the best missions because you did not get a gun. You did not get a gun in this. You had to run and grab a rifle off someone else. You know, you had no gun. The AI actually did stuff. Holy crap! It was the days when AI actually killed people. There's no sound. Yeah. Let me just quickly do the old settings, audio. Yeah. How about now? Is that better? There you go. Alright, we've got 42 seconds, boys, so we're going to quickly end this. Hopefully you guys can hear it go. Yeah, you can hear it now. Alright, I've got it up now. I recommend you guys get up to. I'll post the link in the description as well one more time, so you guys can watch it yourselves in case you don't want to mess up my audio quality, because I've got not too great audio quality at the moment. But yeah, I'll be watching it myself, and then I'll be talking about it immediately afterwards. So 18-7, 16, 15, 14, 13. Hopefully it's not shit. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh. What you want, son? What? Oh, it's an advert. It's an advert, boys. Don't worry. Calm down, calm down. It's an advert. It's just an advert for
in this world, you gotta think big. If not, everything might be shrinking.
I will admit, I completely scat myself. I was like, oh god, what have they done? And then I realised, oh wait, it's just look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look! What is this? What is this? Like, is this cool, Diddy? This could be Halo, for all I know. This could be the new Halo, and I do not know this. What happened to old fashioned? What happened to old Tommy gun? You've got gravity. You could change gravity now. Why would you want to do that? What? Is ground not good enough for you? Oh my god, look at all the Kingslayer. Bolt action shotgun. Oh my god. It's the old Kingslayer, guys. If I've learned anything from Call of Duty game ever, the worst thing to have is the guys with the knives. They are horrible. Oh, close! Yay,
this is my space, this is my page, get out of my hate, what you want?
I mean, it's no sketch flying, mix it up.
This is my stage, this is gonna stay.
I don't know, I think the COD works better when, like, you could choose your perks to create your own class. So, like, I had there was a perk where you go down, and you, like, go forward still. And if someone else had a medic perk, you can, like, heal them. Like, cool. That was just fun.
Get the season pass now. 4 DLC packs for one great price.
It's almost over. The time's coming. Oh, okay. Did the guy just make YouTube full screen and just play the trailer? Are you doing anything? Is it just? Was it it? Was that it? Was that it? What? It's what? But it says now live. I'll refresh it. What?
Cinematic scale and the relentless attention to detail that this conflict deserves and demands.
All right, now
creativity has been inspiring to me from day one. Call of Duty World War II does more than just go back to boots on the ground. It also delivers a gripping, immersive story and a darker, reverent tone, which captures both the epic scale and the human struggle.
Did I miss the trailer?
Incredible conflict.
What?
Like so many people all over the world.
What?
Many of us, myself included, have a personal connection to this conflict.
Did he screw me over?
Fought in this war.
What?
This story belongs to
They're playing an Infinite Warfare trailer. What?
That first Call of Duty value.
You can't do that to me. God damn you.
Call of Duty World War II
They better
also
play
features a
it again. They better play it again.
that brings back the intense, visceral, boots-on-the-ground gameplay our fans love.
Oh my god, this guy's literally just repeating the same thing again and again and again.
And if you can't wait until November to play it,
the
well,
same
good news.
words
You don't have
again
to.
and again and again.
I'm excited to announce right here, right now, that later this year, we'll be
there's
hosting
got to
a
be the
private
trailer.
multiplayer beta.
They've got to show
This
it
is
again.
just the
They
beginning
can't
of a
just
journey that we'll be taking
go,
with
hey,
you all year.
we're just going to distract you with this Infinite Warfare trailer quick.
With more
and then
information than
disappear.
ever.
They can't do
as we
that.
reveal all the details we've got in store for
At any rate, someone's probably already uploaded it, so it's fine. I can always go on YouTube.
We've got a great lineup here
watch it
today,
on there.
ready to answer the questions that you've sent to us.
But yeah,
in a few minutes, I'll be bringing up Michael and Glenn from the studio, as well as a few members of our cast. As you'll see, the team at Sledgehammer has poured their heart and soul into this game. No battle was too big, no detail was too small. From the painstaking historical research to visiting each and every one of the game's real-life locations to sweating the audio and visual details that get the era just right. The goal was to create the most immersive World War II universe ever. We wanted our long-standing fans to experience World War II like never before, and to introduce this historic conflict to a whole new generation of players along the way. So let's get right to it. Here's a behind-the-scenes look at the creative process at the studio, and a deeper look at what's coming in store with Call of Duty World War II.
This looks like it might actually be it. Okay.
The Second World War goes beyond all boundaries in every category.
You turn up a bit.
We see more nations involved in a single conflict. We see casualties higher than ever before. Just a generation before, at the end of the First World War, the Great War, they didn't call it World War I because they expected that nothing like this would ever happen again. And a generation later, something happens that's even bigger and even worse in so many ways.
I will admit,
we have the honor of making this year's Call of Duty called World War II.
Our chance to tell the epic, gritty, visceral story of the world's greatest conflict.
There is a genuine interest.
I do find like that. This guy looks okay. He looks about normal.
Every part of this
the rest of them look a bit weird, but it's fine. That's just me being judgmental. That's just me being really judgmental. But yeah, I mean, they're saying that they're really putting the effort into this game, which is nice. But I mean, they haven't said that for a game before. I mean, they say, oh yes, this one's going to be amazing, this one's going to be amazing, but they haven't like sat down and say we've poured our heart and soul into it, which they're doing now. So hopefully that's a good sign.
To create those authentic battles.
But yes, if that's gameplay, which I think it is, then yes, it definitely looks good.
Hopefully players will walk away from this
the
story
graphics certainly
feeling like they really know these guys.
But you can't count your chickens before they go to the roost, you know? So you have to wait to see what the actual gameplay is going to be like. So I would say that like I'm gonna probably buy the game. I'm probably gonna buy the game when it comes out. Like that's just me.
Dark and beautiful. Emotionally dark.
Because of the fact that like I just need another World War II game in my life right now.
It's about trying to get people to have a deeper emotional reaction to the game.
Our modeling department is amazing. The weapons, vehicles, the tanks, even the cars you might see on the city street. The level of detail is just phenomenal.
It's a huge endeavor, but we have to stay true to the source material. We have to research and watch a lot of film, a lot of archive footage to see how combatants in World War II would behave. Sometimes the hardest things are the biggest payoffs. The combination of the model, the animation, and the audio creates that punchiness to the weapon.
We record everything. Every location we record in for the game. The ambiences, the music, the dialogue.
I will admit that is one of the things that like
we had a real
makes and
opportunity here
breaks
to
the game
do a
sometimes
level
is
of
the gun
authenticity
steal.
and reality.
Especially in COD.
True to
In
the
COD,
war, true to the
when
soldiers who fought
nothing,
in that war.
you know, you don't really have
Opportunity
much
with Marty
besides
Morgan,
you
our
and your
military
gun.
advisor.
Your gun has to be really good.
We spent a lot of time on a gun range with all of the authentic World War II weaponry.
It's critical to understand the absolute violence of the Second World War. It's critical to understand how weapons and firepower function.
This is a story
that's
bigger than all of us. This is a whole new generation.
I hope they don't go too sappy, alright? That is another concern, is that they go too sappy. I don't want them to try and jerk tears from me.
Pretty incredible.
Don't do tear jerking. I don't mind a bit of emotional, I don't mind a bit of, alright, here are the stakes, you know, this is the consequences of your actions, sort of thing.
Personal,
but don't try and beat me over the head with it, alright? That's what I don't want. Because COD is not about a moral guilt trip, it's about shooting people in the face. Which is...
And that is how you do a global reveal.
It's
So that's what
actually
it
a
was,
full
the global
TV
reveal
show.
of the new Call of Duty game, going back to World War II. I'm OJ Borgia at the BFI in London, the IMAX screen, the biggest screen in the United Kingdom, which seems a fitting place to have a game of such cinematic scope. Now, watching that trailer for the first time, like you,
I have no idea who
I
this
was
man
so
is,
hyped.
but
Watching it,
I
would be
actually
hyped
kind of
if it
find
was
his
any Call
beard
of Duty
somewhat
game. But the
endearing.
fact that Call of Duty is going back to its roots, I mean, I need to just calm down just slightly because I'm overhyped right now. But between the trailer and the video that we just saw, I am dying to know more about this game. And as I'm sure you are, that's why you've tuned into this live stream. So who do we talk to? Well, we talk to the people who made the game. That is Glenn and Michael from Sledgehammer Games. We're here right now. How excited are you guys right now?
Well, it looks like they're going to be chatting about it for a while, so I suppose I should start chatting about it. From what I've seen,
it is just an exciting moment. Now, my heart's still racing.
From what I'm hearing from people who are messaging me, apparently it's going to be very, very
a great
good.
trailer. My heart's still racing
Apparently
from
it's going
it.
to be
It
a
was
lot
gritty.
less
We talked about the art direction in that
fast-paced
documentary,
as
which
the
was
other COD
dark and
games
emotional.
were, which is
You know,
good.
it felt like
It's good. I don't
what
mind it.
it gets to be like
I'm
to be
a
in
bit of
World
a...
War II. Can you tell us a bit more then about the detail and the research
I'm not
that
an
went
old
into making
person,
this
being
new
I'm
Call of
old.
Duty?
Yeah, you know, getting World War II right is incredibly important to us. Many of us have family members.
I mean, there is a time and a place for fast-paced,
and paying attention to every detail is our way of honoring them.
Sometimes just having a bit of quiet and a bit of slow is
2.5 years researching, studying.
Oh, by the way, I apologise if you hear some tapping at the window, but it's hailing here, so the weather's really bad.
Visited museums, driven vehicles, fired
but
weapons, and used photogrammetry
they do have a lot of
techniques to
vehicles. I'm
capture
seeing a lot of
even the
vehicles, which is
tiniest
making me
details.
think,
Yeah,
are
that's
they
right.
going to
Look,
do
we've
the whole
gone to
vehicle
great
thing,
lengths
which
to
I was
follow in
talking
the
about earlier? Are they
footsteps
going
of
to
the
try and
soldiers of
implement
World War
more
II.
tanks, more
You know, in
cars,
addition to
more stuff
Normandy,
like
we
that?
literally traveled the routes of the 1st Infantry Division and other Allied units, from the English Channel to the hedgerows of northern France, through Luxembourg and Belgium, and
The
past
amount of
the old
effort
city
they're
of
going
Aachen,
through here
frankly,
to
all the way
try
to the
and
Rhine.
get the authenticity
And it was great. We dug
is
deep into the
encouraging.
historical battle
It definitely
locations
is
where many of the
encouraging. I don't
soldiers
think
fought
they're going
and
to do
sacrificed.
You talk about history, you talk about the accuracy. Am I right in thinking you had a historian working on this? In fact, we saw him, didn't we? In that mini doc.
Yeah, we certainly did. Marty Morgan, amazing. He's renowned World War II historian and author. He's been a huge part of the team. He's worked with us for the last 2 years, and he's frankly devoted his life to capturing the stories of soldiers on the front line. And so with him as a cornerstone of our research, and a tremendous sort of asset to the team, he's really helped us capture the essence of war.
I think it's going
to. Now, we only learned about this a couple of days ago. You'll have been sitting on this, I think Glenn said, for 2.5 years. Since the reveal, how are you feeling right now? What have those days been like?
Oh, my goodness. It has been really amazing. Unbelievable, frankly. And yeah, the reaction's been really positive and warming, and really to all
I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to be mad that it's going to
everybody at Activision.
Like, oh my God, it's all slow and boring.
And
we're all
really
laser
humbling to
guns
have,
and
the opportunity to tell this
I think
incredible story of
definitely,
heroism.
money's on first day. There's going to be some kid out there who goes, "Oh my God, why can't I jump on the walls?"
And
I bet you that's going to happen.
The team back in Foster City is watching the stream right now, and a shout out to all of you, and thanks for your hard work.
Because I'm guessing it has been 2.5 years of hard work. Really hard work. Now, we've got tons to discuss, more questions that are coming in from you. You can get in touch with us on our social channels. If they say that
I think that's probably done here.
No man presents alone either, because alongside me is a YouTuber, I call him the Crown Prince of Zombies. That is Mr. Dalek JD, who I know is super hyped right now.
That is correct, OJ. And,
oh, it's him!
I mean, that introduction.
Yeah,
I know.
Hang on, is the trailer at the start here? Can I rewind it? Can I do that? Huh? Okay. Oh, yes, they were.
Because we're ahead of. So we got the.
Okay, just shut up and get to the trailer. Shut up and get to the trailer. Shut up. Shut up. Just give me what I want. I already got it. Alright, we'll go for now. I'll watch the main thing again. I'm going to be streaming later on, boys. I'm going to be streaming like TF2 and some other games later on tonight. But for the moment, we're just going to watch this, and then I'll probably go past comment, and then I'll probably end the stream. But we'll just watch this and see what it's like.
Peggy 18.
Peggy 18. Actual in-game footage. We'll see about that.
Set upon a mighty endeavor. Souls will be shaken with the violences of war.
Ooh.
In this hour of great sacrifice.
I will admit, the character models remind me a lot of Battlefield 1. Alright, that face was slightly off. Who knows? Maybe I just had some sort of problem.
We are all that separates the world from darkness. The enemy is ruthless. We cannot, we must not fail.
Duty first.
Oh, that's where you get to sit on a tank! Silly poos. Oh, flat guns are always nice. Oh, please not the cutscenes.
How many casualties? We executed the mission. Get me the fuck out of here. How many? We had orders.
Oh dear. Alright. Oh god. Oh god.
What we're all about. No mission too difficult. No sacrifice too great.
Welcome to the bloody first. You're a long way from Texas, farm boy.
Okay, now let's just talk about that. Okay, now that was not encouraging. I mean, it was encouraging. The graphics look good. There was not really any gameplay. Let's be honest. There was no gameplay. There was a lot of cutscene stuff and stuff like that. There was no. I mean, in comparing it to other trailers around at the moment, there was no cool music. There was no. I didn't feel incredibly pumped after that. I felt like that was kind of a weak fart compared to the mighty Trump that you'd expect. But you know, I mean, again, it's early days yet. But I do worry because they had the whole dramatic, like, you can't boss me around. What are the orders? And he's like, no, you gotta follow orders, man. And then there was that brutal bit where they just beat a German soldier to death with a rock. Like, oh, what? What the hell? So, I mean, there is a bit of a concern that it is going to... I don't know. I feel more concerned now that I've watched the trailer that it's going to try and be more set pieces than not. Which has me a little bit concerned. I'm not going to lie. So, again, I feel... I'm not as hyped as I was. If anything, that trailer made me less hyped. I feel like it's going to be a decent game... Probably a solid game, probably slightly better than a lot of CODs been doing recently, but I don't think it'll reach nearly the heights of the old CODs. I don't think it'll reach near the heights of the old CODs. Which is a shame, but it's just the way that things are going at the moment. I think that if anything, games are giving you less for your money, you know? So, I mean, I think I'll definitely get it, probably. I'll probably get it, but I'm not going to be... You know, I don't know. I probably won't bother pre-ordering it. I'll probably just pick it up whenever I want, really. Which is a shame because I think they could have done a lot more with it, but I think that's just how it goes. Anyway, so that's my passing comments on the trailer. I thought it looked good, but it could have been a lot better. But yeah, I suppose at least they're trying something. At least they're trying something. At any rate, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm probably going to go do some work. I mean, I would stick around and watch the rest of the live stream and watch them talk about it for hours on end, but I don't think it's really worth it, to be honest. So yeah, I'll probably catch you guys later. Hope you enjoyed.